back to another episode of What's Hot New Mexico. My name is Nikayla. I'm the host of this podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining me again and again each week. We look forward to having you guys again next week for our next episode. Today I have with me DJ Stigmata, who has been traveling across the country DJing for underground rap artists like Suicide Boys and HAARPER. Thank you guys, and we hope you enjoy it.
If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Welcome back to What's Hot New Mexico. My name is Nikayla, and today I'm joined with DJ Stigmata. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. And so you are a DJ, but not just a DJ, pretty much the DJ, man.
Thank you.
You were joining G59, aka Suicide Boys, and their whole collaboration on a tour. Yeah. And so I would love to just dive into, how was that? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, I was just blessed to be connected through, different avenues and throughout all the years of me DJing the style of music that I did. Mm-hmm. Eventually just lined up for me to work with this artist HAARPER, and HAARPER's prevalent artist in that scene.
Yep.
And so I got to DJ for him. We did like 2 tours prior to that, one of his headline tours and another one for support for Knight Lavelle, who's a G59 artist. Yep. And then that came to us after he was offered the Grey Day opportunity after that last tour. So we hopped on the road with them, and it was like 3 months just about on the road, and it was a long tour, but it was awesome. The greatest experience for sure. It was just really fun, and got to connect with even more people throughout the underground, just like, or, that scene, whatever you want to call it nowadays. People call it underground, but they're packing
it's
out.
It's not underground.
They're packing it out arenas, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, there's just that whole style of music. Just, it's a blessing to be a part of it, and having made so many connections through all those guys. And, it's just like, that's my vein, you know what I'm saying? I like to bring that, the essence of hip hop into this newer style, and being able to scratch and, add my flavor to stuff. So it just made sense, and then that turned into this last one that I'm just coming off of right now. I was DJing for the artist Killswitch and the artist Simpra from New Zealand, and we just came off of like a 2.5 month run, and it's just it's a blessing to be part of that whole scene, and and all those guys are true innovators, pushing the culture forward and stuff. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And so for the listeners who don't know, basically underground rap is kind of more of this grungy, dark type of hip hop. Yeah. People like Suicide Boys and Night Vale, Germ, pretty much the whole G59 collaboration has been really pivoting that forward, pushing that. And when that SoundCloud era hit, I mean, that stuff just took over.
Yeah, definitely.
And so being a DJ in that genre, what does that kind of mean for you, and how do you change your mixes because of that sort of style?
It's honestly right on the same path of what I've always been into. I've always been into I don't know, my true roots are metal, you know what I'm saying? So all the hardcore,
that's
crazy
usually
stuff,
everyone,
and then that morphed into, in the 90s, in early 2000s for me, I was still, super young, but I was juggaloed out. ICP was everything to me. That was my, all. So that, I don't know, that whole fan base, they really pride themselves on being heat seekers. You know what I'm saying? They find the dopest music first. So, that just alone, just that being my roots, really helped ground me in that more hardcore style, dark vibes. And as as that music progressed, I just stayed, I guess, informed with it, and seeking what was dope. Yeah. And then, SoundCloud era came, and of course, Puya and all those cats, Bones, during that early wave, it was just that was the frequency, you know what I'm saying? It was hearing stuff that we were already into, 3 6 Mafia, and having them, apply that sound to this new style, and put their flavor to it.
Totally reimagined.
Yeah, exactly. So it just made sense.
Yeah. And I like what you said earlier. When we think about like underground rap, and I'm a really big fan of that genre, there are usually a lot of people that are like, I've known them since 2003, since 1964.
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely a trademark of the fan base, is like getting there when it's hot and then being able to say like, I was there on the come up, and now you're touring with people that are selling out arenas.
No,
I mean,
sure.
Poya came here a couple months ago and it was packed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I can remember, shout out to Zany. He's a local promoter out here, and he's been putting me on shows for years now, and he was booking Suicide Boys when they were playing literally at Launchpad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's crazy to see the come up for artists like that.
Yeah.
And just grateful to be a part of it.
And so you were on like pretty much 2 back-to-back tours. And tell me what DJing at a live event, especially for live performers, what does that look like, and what is that versus like quote unquote traditional DJing?
I've done a little bit of both throughout my career, where it's just like straight DJ sets, and then I've done stuff where it's working with a rapper, working with an artist, and both have their like I don't know, parts that I like more or less, but working with rappers is fun. It's like it's just like extra energy, and it's just like I get to add my flavor to the artist stuff, be able to scratch behind their music and on the hooks and stuff like that, and that's really fun. It's an enjoyable part of what I do. I like collaborating with other rappers and even other producers too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of producers nowadays that are doing like live sets, so it's cool to like be able to hop on stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as like the live shows go, like, it's crazy because we, being on a stage like what we were on in front of like 15,000 people, being in those rooms, it was almost like less nerve-wracking than being in smaller rooms, because you can't really see people's faces.
Oh, and they're just all spread out. So you're like, all right.
Yeah, it's like every night looks like the same room.
Yeah, yeah. Versus like when you come here at Launchpad and you're looking everyone dead in the eye.
Yeah, you can see everybody right away. Yeah. No, so I don't know. There's like different dynamics, but everything has like something enjoyable about it for sure, and the energy. It's like, I'm one of those people that I'm never nervous until it's like literally like 2 minutes before showtime, and then it's like, all right, it's go time,
Me too. And not to put more pressure on your job, but when I've gone to concerts like that, DJs like you really make or break the sets, especially before, the openers come out or in between when there's those breaks. If you don't keep the energy up, people are getting tired, they're getting rowdy, they're finding their entertainment somewhere else. So for you, like, what songs and mixes do you do to really get the crowd going into such a big concert like this, where you have these big headliner names and you have to keep the energy up because people are coming in at 7, but the headliner might not even start until like 10.
Yeah, and that's also like a foundation that Tuzani gave me, you know what I'm saying? Putting me on all those shows like early on in my career, it really kind of gave me like the training that I needed to be able to think about how I would approach these shows and keep people interested and show people like real DJing and keeping the show moving and keeping that energy going for sure. Like, it all depends on the show. I think that's what it is about being a DJ, is you got to like really be versatile and like know the crowd that you're playing to, and like know that obviously like some things you can't play. Like sometimes you'll do big shows and you'll get a straight do not play list. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like they don't want you to get the crowd too hyped. You gotta know, like, like there's a lot of dynamics that people don't see that go into shit like that. So
yeah,
it's like one of those things, just staying, I guess, knowledgeable to what's hot right now, and then like what the kids or what the fans are into at that time or for that given event, So, but that genre, that style has always been my forte. So it's cool that like promoters like Tuzani will put me with the right shows, and I've kind of hopped into that lane more so than just doing like the club type stuff, like how you were saying,
For sure.
And it's, it makes me have to think on my toes a little bit, but the true essence is like there, and that's what I do is like, try to add my flavor to all that stuff.
Yeah.
The scratching, the turntablism, adding that element into what I do. And I think that's how I keep the crowd into what I do.
And I want to go back to you saying that there's like a do not playlist, because the first thing that came to my mind when you said that, Catch Me Outside by Ski Mask the Slump God. I'm not saying that that's on there, but I imagine if I were a DJ, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know if I want the crowd to listen to this because they'll get crazy. So what are like a couple songs that they've explicitly been like, everyone's going to get too hype about this?
That one's also like, it just depends on the show and on the management of the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just, and also for a given timeline, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a hot song, say maybe their DJ wants to play before their set. So that's just how like the way it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to build it through the night. You build the momentum. And like, if you're just the opening DJ or the support DJ, you got to make sure that you're not going too hard, you know, like, because you can, you know. But if it's not your show, you got to just know your role.
You probably don't want to start off at 7:30 with an X song because people are going to get way too crazy too quick.
But then there's other artists and other managers that really don't care. They're just like, you know what, you go hard.
Just do what you got to do, man. Keep the people here.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's all those dynamics, but it's cool.
Yeah, and so being on tour, what are some of the things that you've experienced, you know, being on the stage with these people that maybe fans wouldn't be able to see? What is that like?
You know, all the people that I've been blessed to share the stage with and share the road with have been amazing. You know, just like truly like down to earth people. Literally every last person. It's really cool to see how music brings people together. Like, and creates relationships and creates opportunities and all these different things. And it's just like, I don't know, we all share this like this harmony, you know, with like our passion for what we do. And everybody's really cool. It's cool getting to go to different cities and being able to like enjoy food and the different, you know, check out the different local spots. And then, you know, being on the road's hard too, though. It's like, as much as you love everybody, by the, you know, the end of the third month,
like, get out of my face.
Everybody's like, I want to go home. Yeah. But it's really cool though. Everybody's been really like, just like I say, down to earth, and you forget that they're on the scale that they are sometimes. I think, you know, there's just like, this is the homie.
For sure.
Yeah.
And going into that, are there any artists that you like really particularly bonded with, or that like you really loved to DJ and open for?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody that I have gotten to share the stage with recently has been just my favorite so far. You know, I just feel like every year is just like, all right, boom, you know, another favorite person that maybe I would never really have even played their music before, and then gotten connected, and then like, wow, like seeing their talent. I'd say most recently, I got to DJ for Tara Reid.
Nice.
And, in San Francisco, we got to open for Cypress Hill. And he was really awesome, like so awesome sharing the stage with. He was just like a super talented artist, like dope MC. Obviously, he does the Getter stuff, so he's a DJ also.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been bumping his music for years now, so to be able to like DJ for him is crazy. Also, recently I got to work with an artist by the name of DJ Smokey from he's from Canada, and he has been making like those style beats for like a really long time, and DJing and like doing crazy stuff for a really long time. And he recently hit me up and had me do some scratching for his stuff.
That's exciting.
So that's about to come out here pretty soon, and you know, I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah.
And that, you know, having to flip some of that like 3-6 Mafia
exactly,
style.
all
like,
that style. Yeah,
the Memphis style. Yes.
Yeah.
I love Memphis style rap. There's something about it that's like kind of eerie, and it brings back the 90s, I think, in a way that like no other form of rap really is right now.
For sure, it's a vibe,
yeah. And so, you know, looking into the future now, you've been on these back-to-back tours with really big, you know, artists.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in the upcoming months? Any more tours, or are you kind of taking a break and trying to work on your mixing some more?
Yeah, so right now, like I said before we started this, I'm getting ready to do some sinus surgery, so
I know
I'm gonna have to take some downtime for that. And then while I'm recovering doing that, I'm gonna be you know, working on the merch. I got a bunch of merch I'm about to drop.
Nice.
So online store about to, you know, pop up pretty soon, so stay posted on Instagram, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, haven't planned anything as far as touring goes for the rest of the year. I got some local stuff, you know, popping up, some support for some bigger shows coming up.
Yeah.
But other than that, just kind of just building the brand for all the merchandise and clothing and stuff like that.
Nice.
That's gonna be really exciting. And then recovering from surgery and getting back in the gym, trying to stay active. And
fitness is on everyone's mind lately, man. Every time I bring a guest in here, they're like, "I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym."
No, that's every day for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the hardest part about being like a touring artist, and then like being pretty like disciplined as far as when you're at home and have a routine, is that it really like throws your routine off a little bit.
Oh my God. Like how do you plan the time to like go to the gym and eat right when you have like a 7 to midnight show? That seems like a lot. And then you're on the road for the rest of the day. So
that's what is like the key factor though, is like who you're on tour with. Like being on tour with HAARPER, he's very disciplined. He was like about the gym every day. You know what I'm saying? So like if you have people you're surrounded with that like want to do it too, it makes it a lot easier, because we're parked in like random Planet Fitness parking lots and stuff like that across the country. So even though it's Planet Fitness, you got to go get it in real quick.
For real.
But it's the gym's definitely that's one of those things. Can't abandon it totally.
Right.
But it gets hard on the road for sure.
Yeah, and you were saying like, you guys are driving and parking in the middle of nowhere, probably waking up in a whole new state every day.
Yeah.
Do you like sleep on a tour bus, or are you driving, or how does that work?
It depends. This last one, we had like a really big, nice tour bus. Some nights we'd stay on the bus itself, depending on like if we're traveling during the night, like the schedule of the driver. Some nights we get hotels, on days off and stuff like that, be able to shower, and it's a grind.
It's a lot.
It's a grind for sure.
And so you've been to a lot of cities across the country.
Yeah.
What is a city that maybe you didn't expect for it to be as rowdy and fun as it was, and then you went there and you did your set and you're like, oh dang, they're going hard.
That's easy for me. Salt Lake City.
Really? Salt Lake. Yeah. For which tour were you on, or who were you helping out?
A couple of them. Every time they just go so hard.
Really?
The kids from Salt Lake City. I think obviously it's a very ultra religious state. So I think that the kids, when it's time to party, they know like what to they really let loose.
Crazy. They're probably so excited to hear some HAARPER. They're like, yes, I can go home, buck wild.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you're a local here in town. And how did you come up from, being a local DJ in town to where you're traveling across the country now with, these big people?
Yeah, I think a lot of things. It's not any one thing I'd say, but I would definitely say being into the genre that I've always been into, that definitely kept me like, from not being a regular club DJ, because it's easy to fall into that, that scene and just be like, all right, I'm playing top 10, whatever, like every night for the rest of infinity. But I just like playing the genre that I was playing, being into the stuff that I was into, and then getting, recognized by promoters like Too Zany, and being placed on the right shows. And then it was like a steady evolution from there. And then my blood brother, he lives out in California, and he is an A&R for Empire Records.
Oh, okay.
And he's started as an intern over there. He's like 10 years younger than I am, and he became an A&R for Empire. So
wow.
He's very intricate in my role that I'm in right now, because that's what he does. He connects artists, and he was the one that like connected me with HAARPER and connected me with Kill Switch, and all these people. So yeah,
whole entertainment family.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I just remember him being a little kid, being into music, and like.
Now you're like, whoa, you're plugging me in some shows? Yeah, all right. I'm still the older brother here.
Yeah. No, it's a blessing for sure.
Yeah. And how long have you been in the game doing this?
Let's see. I started DJing in 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this has been really steady building over a couple of years.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
What are a couple of songs that you've been bumping recently? As a DJ, you got to be locked into the game. So what have you been listening to?
Yeah, honestly, just a bunch of mixes from his name is DJ T-Main and let's see, Hood Mafia and North Posse. And then when I'm not listening to that style of stuff, I'm listening to a bunch of like Jameson right now.
Really?
I love Jameson. Yeah, he's like my favorite artist.
Interesting mix, but I feel like you kind of got to have that mix in order to like come up with something new in the game.
Definitely, yeah.
That's awesome.
But that's like my main playlist is just like all that stuff right now.
All right. Yeah. And the show title, What's Hot New Mexico? So I want to ask you, what's hot and not in your life right now? For example, for me, and I've mentioned this in a previous episode too, but the Memphis rap is all I've been listening to. I did a deep dive, And actually, it was used as a sample in a Suicide Boy song, but there is a rapper who passed away, and I gotta look up her name, TBH. But been bumping that on SoundCloud. I've been back in my SoundCloud game, trying to listen to more mixes and stuff like that.
It happens every so often.
Yes, yeah. And then you hear about an unreleased song from like an artist that you really like who like couldn't get the sample cleared or something. And then it's just over. You're just deep diving from there. So that's been what's really in for me. What's been out for me, dude, low-key, I haven't really been into meat lately. Like, I've been like veggies, and I'm like, oh, I want to get some strawberries for the day. So, kind of, I think it's the heat. The red meat just isn't really vibing with me right now. So, what's out in your life right now?
Just preparing for surgery. Getting ready to do a bunch of like home stuff, like, you know, remodels, and so that's like on the up. I have an old school, and you know how Albuquerque culture is with their cars right now. You know what I'm saying? I got a '68 Cadillac that I'm getting ready to kind of refurbish a little bit too.
Oh, nice, nice. That's gonna be a big project.
It's I know. So I've had it for years, but I'm starting it back up, and hopefully have it done. You know, ready for summer next year when everybody busts out the Lolos.
For real, that'll be a perfect time for it.
Yeah, definitely. So you know, doing all that stuff. Obviously, good food for me. My family is the family that owns Mary and Tito's Cafe.
Oh, nice.
So, food's been in my blood for many years. So, you know, staying eating good. You know,
ooh, red or green then?
Red, easy.
Really? Off my show. I'm a green person. No, I'm kidding, but green all the way.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's what's up. And then of course, like I say, on the downside, probably surgery.
Oh yeah, that's like you're in and you're out right now.
I'm like, oh my God. But in the long run, hopefully it'll help me breathe better.
For real, dude.
Everybody that I've talked to says that they have that surgery and they're like a whole new person. So
you're like, I'm ready for my life to change.
Yeah.
Hey, it might help you out in the gym. Might make the gym
what I'm saying?
easier.
Yeah, oxygen. That's a
right,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
And my last question for you that I like to ask. Maybe people know a lot about your career, or maybe they don't know, or maybe they know a lot about your hobbies. So what is something that you wish more people knew about you in any sort of form?
You know, just I guess the whole package in general is kind of like talk about, you know, deep dives, you know, like if you've been following me for years, you know the evolution for sure. But if you don't, then basically, Albuquerque born and raised, and you know, I've always kind of prided myself on being like a stereotype breaker. You know, people look at me and say like, oh, that guy's probably like a crazy, you know, who knows what.
Got the face tat, so I'm sure people are instantly like,
I've had it for years too. So I like to, you know, break those stereotypes and show people from out here, especially that like anything's possible. You can fucking, you know, reach heights that you can't even think of, you know? So yeah, just Albuquerque born and bred, and the sky's the limit, you know, just go and check out the history.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that surgery goes well, man.
Thank you.
The breathing will be worth it in the end.
Sure. For sure.
And congratulations, you've had, you know, these 2 really big tours recently, so huge success, and proud to have you as an Albuquerque person here repping us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.